let's just dance, dance. Let's just dance, baby. I just wanna dance, 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 dance. Can you feel it? Can you take it? Can you come and breathe it? All of this electricity, do it right now, right now. Turn the volume up loud, give me your electricity.
Welcome back to the bar.
Good morning.
Good morning. I guess it's morning. I think people listen to us in the morning. If you're listening to us on your morning drive, I hope the voices of the bitches get you to work in a happy and safe way.
Either that or I hope we don't make you wreck.
I was just going to say, I hope we help you drive safely today. So I don't know. I feel like it's been a minute since we've recorded one of these. I feel like we were doing a ton and then we had like a little bit mini break.
Well, you know what? It was, the last two we didn't have notes for. So it was like, we didn't have homework.
Yeah.
And so, I was bitching because I felt like I was lost because I didn't have notes. But let me just tell you, when I was doing my homework and writing the notes, I was very thankful for the last two episodes. I was like, why the hell do I want notes? Because this is a pain in the ass writing these notes.
It is such a pain in the ass. And, look how many notes I have.
I know. Me too. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 pages front and back.
Yeah. And I don't like homework.
And they're big papers, like not little note things. They're regular full-size sheets of paper. God, my hand hurts when I'm done.
How is your hand from your ass break?
It's doing pretty good.
Good.
It's getting much better. That prednisone or whatever, the steroid helped.
Good. All right. Well, let's start off by thanking our Patreons, and then we will get into our drinks of the day. Okay. So these are the people who went over to patreon.com/backtothebar, BARRE, like a ballet bar. And they have access to exclusive content every week, like our after party. And then once a month, they get very exclusive, never before seen photos or videos. And let me tell you, Cal, we are finally into like the time of the show where I have a ton of this stuff. So I'm really excited for it because I was struggling a little bit there for a minute.
Season, yeah.
But now I've got a plethora. It's almost like I have as much behind the scenes footage as Abby has headbands.
There we go. Well, then we know that's a lot.
I was just going to say that's a lot. So let's thank Valerie, Ryan, Lucy, Samantha, Mick, Caitlin, Catherine, Rachel, Abigail, Katie, Haley, Anna, Bella, Hunter, Amanda, Tori, Court, Vince, Lily, Alyssa, Alicia Marie, Jacqueline, Ashley, Macy, Claudiane, that's very French, Christina, Tony, Melly, Gracie, Emma, Alyssa, Ashley, Caroline, Ashanti, Jewel, Jessica, Anthony, Harley, Rachel, Katie, Emily, Megan, Taylor, Rachel, Shelley, Allison, Becca, Taylor, Kevin, Marissa, Nathan, Desiree, Suga, Holly, Kristen, Casey, Julia, Alexa, Crystal, Samara, Nicola, Haven, Claire, Kylie, Pamela, Brooklyn, Aggie, Kaylee, Lindsay, Ella, Jessica, Christine, Yachty, Anna, Kimberly, Olivia, Sarah, Caroline, Sally, Kat, Jessica, Haley, Susan, Angel, Maggie, Larissa, Emily, Stephen, Kylie, Constance, Tori, Lisbeth, Rosen, Mallory, Lisa, Taylor, Olivia, Ashley, Taryn, Jojo, Rachel, Grace, Janelle, Christy, Sierra, Sarah, LaDorche, Gabrielle, Kate, Laura, and Kristen. Thank you guys.
Yay. That list never gets smaller. I think every week, well, we're just going to have a few this week, and every week it's a big, long list.
No, it's a big list, and it's going to be a big list for a while because I still have pages to go, and we're just catching up. I mean, we're honestly just catching up. Now, where did I go? I like to see us on the screen. There we are. Okay. So that is our Patreons for this week. Thank you all so much for subscribing over at patreon.com. If you want to join us too, there's always room for one more at the party. So come on over.
More the merrier, right?
More the merrier. All right. What are you drinking?
I bought another thing online.
I figured.
But it's wine.
Ooh.
Like my favorite, but they had a Facebook ad and it said,
Kelly, you are such a sucker for Facebook ads.
I know, but I find some good things. This wine it's called Grazie wine. And it has
I know this.
Oh, you do? Have you
Go ahead.
drank it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, it says the secret to a Sunday fun day without a hangover.
Well,
Well, right there, they got me.
You had me at no hangover.
Exactly. So I got it because it says it's low in sugar and is free of additives. And that's what they say gives you a headache. So cheers. I'm having some red wine and I'll let you know if I get a headache or not.
Hey, there's this stuff I bought it on Amazon. It's called
I have it.
Cheers.
That stuff it's like a filter almost.
No, I have that. The little spoon.
Yeah.
No, it's like, it's either a powder or a capsule you take at night when you're drinking, and it, like, I don't know, cleanses your liver or some shit. I never have a hangover when I use it. I swear.
Oh my God. Send me what that is. I need to get that.
It's great. But
that has not come up on my Facebook.
It will today because it's listening.
You know when you like look things up, how they keep sending you? I swear to God, I see none of my friends shit on Facebook anymore. I only get things for drinks. So I just keep buying them. What the heck? I have not been to the state store since we started filming because I just order on Facebook.
I need to get on Facebook because every time we record, I'm always down there like scrounging for something.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I actually thought you were going to have an apple teeny today because, I mean, there be more?
I didn't get to the state store.
I don't
like apples.
I don't
either. Like I don't like candy apples. People
don't either. So I was having a hard time because I was going to make an apple drink and I was like, ugh, every recipe I found, I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that. But there was one that I found that I was like, I would like that. It's actually called a Jolly Rancher.
Oh,
I like a Jolly Rancher. Yeah.
I've done those in shots.
Well, okay, this is not a shot, but I just looked at the sample picture and the picture online is way darker than mine. So I'm thinking that I might have a little bit of a hangover after this one.
Well, you should have drank my wine.
It's green apple vodka, peach schnapps, cranberry juice, and an orange wedge, but I don't have an orange wedge. So.
I don't think I would like that. That sounds really sweet.
It's a little sweet.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like that. That's going to be a hangover.
That is going to be a hangover.
Headache. It's all the sugar in there. That's why this wine, it says it's real low in sugar.
Yeah. Well, I was going to suggest for this episode because there are billions of apple puns. Like the whole thing is apple puns. So I was like, maybe we should drink every time we have an apple pun. And I'm like, no, my God, I'll be on the floor before we even
I might be okay. I might be okay having one today.
I don't think I can do that. I'll have to go back and forth between water and my cocktail because this one is
okay, wuss.
So where's your red? I'm wearing red.
I'm wearing an outfit that I had on the show.
You did? I don't remember that one.
Yeah. I don't know where I had it on at, but I had it on.
Well, I just wore red.
Maybe at, I don't remember, at a competition or at the,
no. Was it when we went to lunch?
Maybe.
No,
I don't remember.
A cold shoulder shirt and sequins
that black
at lunch.
Thing. No sequins.
You had sequins. Oh no, you had sequins on it at the party. At the soiree. Yes.
They weren't really sequins. They were like metal.
Okay, they were like sequin-esque. I look like Jill. This looks like a Jill jacket and a shirt.
Yeah, you look very
businessy.
Studious or something. Yes.
Well, I was just looking for red and I didn't want to wear a red sweater. So this is my only other option.
See, I felt like the red was in honor of the candy apples and I'm wearing black.
Yeah, because you have a black heart.
For their funeral.
Yeah. For their funeral. I have to say, I have very little memories of this episode. I remember things happening like specifically from my perspective, but I don't remember watching this episode hardly at all. Yeah. So this one was one of those ones I was watching and I'm like, oh. But this episode also has a ton of really iconic lines from the show that have been quoted a billion times.
Yeah.
So this will be a fun one to recap. And we're going to have quite a selection for our favorite line of the episode because I have about 14 stars. Because every time I have any line, I started and I was like, look how many stars I have.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to go back to the bar this week? Ugh.
Oh, yes.
All right. So this is season 2, episode 2, and it's called Return of the Candy Apples. So...
we get to go to Ohio with the cows.
The cows. How funny is it that somebody in Patreon was like, I think he did that on purpose.
I know.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure they did. But it's every time they show the cows.
I personally like all the rusty farm equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely made it look like she lived in farm country.
Yeah, for sure. So we actually open in Pittsburgh and we get that infamous girls, let's go, which is so funny that the show always opens with her screaming girls, let's go, because it makes it seem like our girls aren't ready. Meanwhile, our girls are like,
we've been sitting there for hours. Yes.
Like waiting to go.
Yep.
And so it's just, on the flip side of it, from our perspective, I'm like, we've been ready to go for 4 hours.
Exactly. Yes. Waiting for her to come in.
And right off the bat, the minute the girls walk in, Abby is
mediocre.
Well, not even mediocre. Before we even get
to the pink headband,
the most aggressive pink headband I've ever seen.
2 inches wide, for God's sakes, and patent leather. Like pink patent leather. Yeah. Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, is that sweet? Okay.
But the first thing she tells us is we're mediocre. Like, hello. Thank you.
It was cute.
Not you girls won. Not you won. You're mediocre.
And then she goes into pyramid right away and she starts Kendall's at the bottom of the pyramid. And she's talking about Kendall did a solo and her face was scared to death. And
then they put up that picture and she does look scared to death. But I don't blame her. How about you? I'd have been like running for the hills.
Meanwhile, they watched the show and came knocking on the door.
I know. Like, what were they thinking?
And Abby tells her that was not an Abby Lee Miller face. And Jill tries to say something. And she's like, Abby. And she's like, shh, shh.
You don't get to talk.
No, you don't get to talk. It's my turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's doing the little like.
With her hand. Yeah.
Yeah. The little duck thing. Like,
yeah.
You don't get to talk. It's my turn.
Shut it up. Yeah.
We don't get to talk. It's my turn. My turn. So something tells me Abby didn't share toys as a child. That's just a guess.
She's an only child.
Yeah.
With no friends.
Oh, but wait. So I don't think in the first episode that Jill's in, I don't think that we really got to see the poof in all of its glory.
Yeah.
And it came out to play in this episode.
Yes. Well, how about her outfit? I have a comment about her
next
outfit.
On my list.
I mean, it was sequins, leopard, and satin. Like, could she have gotten any other kind of fabric or pattern? Like,
wait, then she has on black tights and patent leather pumps.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I was like, she had it all covered. She couldn't decide which way she wanted to go. So she's like, let's just put it all on.
She was hoping to be a background dancer in like Lady Gaga show or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Literally, that was my next note. What is Jill wearing? Which you've got to appreciate now that Jill is here to stay, that we know we're going to get some doozies as far as clothes go.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then I said that we started pyramid, but actually that wasn't the pyramid. She just said that Kendall did a solo. Kendall comes up on pyramid later. Sorry about that. That was my mistake. She does tell us at this point, though, that we're heading to Ohio and we know who lives there. And Chloe goes, Candy.
Yeah, Chloe was so funny. I think she was excited to see them.
I think
either that or she was excited she knew the answer. She knew the answer to the question.
I personally think that she was like me and she's like, if we dance against candy apples, I know the focus is going to be on them and not me.
Not us. Yeah.
And then Abby tells us that Cathy will be there and I deliver quite a fantastic eye roll there with my tongue out. I mean, it's really aggressive. I am wearing a French twist as well.
I have that in my notes too, that you stole the girl's hairstyle.
I did.
Yes.
And then you get the clip of me in interview where I say, Cathy's like a cold sore. She just keeps coming back. She won't go away. I'm here. God, go away already. The truth is, funny. I had said in my original interview, I called her herpes.
It made you change it.
They made me change it. They're like, can you say cold sore instead of herpes so we can use it?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I said that she's like the herpes of makeup, like glitter. You can't get rid of it. I don't know.
Either way, they're all true.
So then Abby tells us that because Cathy's going to be there this weekend, she does not want any squawking from the mothers because
I know.
we're a team. And then here's where we're going to get a big apple pun. We're going to take a bite out of that big apple.
Yay, take a bite.
Yeah, she loves her. I want to know if somebody walked in with a list of apple puns for her.
Probably.
Because they're really
she never came up with them kind of things.
I think she did come up with pork chops and applesauce.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you wonder why.
Yeah. Well, I meant because it was said in the audience.
Yeah.
And not in her.
She likes pork chops and applesauce.
Wait a second. It was you who told me that you went to the Chinese restaurant with her.
She ordered, I think it was beef and broccoli or something. And she brought a can of Campbell's tomato soup and asked them to mix it in with it. Oh my God. I wanted to puke. I was like, ugh. It's like, ugh.
Didn't she have the can in her purse?
She brought it with her. Yes. I don't know what, like if she kept them in her car or what.
What's funny is she always tells our kids about manners. That doesn't seem very mannerly.
She gave it to the waiter and said, can you have them put this can of Campbell's tomato soup in with her Chinese food? I didn't even want to sit next to her and eat it because I was just like, oh.
I remember you telling me that story. That one like lives rent free in my brain.
Yeah. Every time I eat Chinese, I think of it.
Oh God. Then we know Pyramid's about to start because we hear the psycho music playing. And at the bottom of the pyramid is Kendall. And Abby tells her, I'm watching you like a hawk.
Yes.
And I'm like, Jesus God. Like,
she's still on probation.
Yes.
And Kendall looks like she's going to cry again.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. And she does say, I'm sad to be at the bottom of the pyramid because she did her best.
Yes.
These poor kids.
I think all the kids feel that way every week. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jill wants us to feel sympathetic to Kendall, but like we do it. We've been doing it every week for a whole season. So we really, it doesn't even faze us that we should be sympathetic to her because we're just like we do it every week.
Yeah. And she knew what she was getting into.
Yes.
She signed up for this. Like she volunteered for it. So that was, again, one of my issues I always had when people would come on the show and complain that their kids were being mistreated. Well, you knew what it was.
What did you expect? Yes.
You asked for it.
Exactly.
So you can't ask for something and then when you get it, think that you should have it better. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly.
So then next is Kenzie. And she tells Mackenzie, I give you little parts because you can't keep up with the group. Then when Maddie was 7, she could have done the choreography. And Maddie's
she looks up at her mom. Did you see her?
Oh, I thought she was like rolling her eyes at Abby, which I actually thought was great.
No, I think she was looking up above at her mom because she was talking about Kenzie should be like her or whatever. That's what I think it was.
But we were in the room. We weren't upstairs.
Were we?
When she was, we were in Pyramid. I don't know. I mean, maybe she was looking, maybe they cut, but I just thought it was funny that she was kind of rolling her eyes at Abby, like sticking up for her sister, because you don't get much of that from Maddie. Like, you know.
Yeah. So, I totally didn't get it that way. I don't know.
I
thought she was looking at her mom like, save me.
Oh, maybe.
He's putting me against my sister.
I mean, maybe. Look, it probably was a save me. It's always save me.
Yeah.
Next is Brooke. And she said that Brooke danced great, but you cried. And all the hysteria is not very young adult. Brooke's 13.
She's 13, yes. and the crying wasn't over dancing. It was over you yelling at her for having writing on her hand and not allowing her to go to the football game because you ran over on your time. Like,
exactly.
Be on schedule.
Mm-hmm. And so next is your other child, you know, because she's not at the top of the pyramid. She has to be next to her other sister or her sister. And it's Paige. And she goes, Paige, you were good.
She did a nice job this weekend, she said.
A nice job. But then on the bus.
Yeah. She had to sit down 32 times. No, do we really think that Paige was the only person standing on that bus? They all walk around the entire time we were on the bus.
I actually remember that week because they were a little rambunctious because they were having fun and it was Sunday on the way home. And Abby didn't always ride the bus home. So the girls had fun on the
On
bus
the way
ride
home,
home. And so that was 31 times too many.
Too many. Yes.
And you say every one of them were doing it. And then she screams at you, that doesn't make it right.
But she just couldn't put Paige up higher because Paige did a nice job. She just had to have a reason to put her on the bottom. And that was the only reason she could come up with.
Yes. So now bus behavior is factored into your pyramid placement, in case anybody's worried or wondering. And you say in your interview, no matter what you do, your kids will always be at the bottom because it's Abby's way of torturing me.
It is.
It's funny that you say torturing. I love it because we are tortured.
We are. Gosh.
And then,
serious. Like if my kids shit wrong, it's the wrong texture. They'll probably be on the bottom. Like, you know, I mean, it's like no matter what they do. So whatever.
Paige, you're constipated this week. The bottom of the
You're on the bottom. Brooke, your shit's too runny. You're at the bottom.
Please stop.
I'm serious. And it's true.
It's funny because it's true.
I know. Ah.
So next is Nia. And she says, you're here because maybe if someone in your family could show up and clap for you.
Like, it's not so rude. Like nothing like me making her feel bad.
I am astounded at the bullshit that is said out loud to these children. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember these things. And when you watch it back, it's horrifying. Like,
and they don't show all the horrifying stuff. They only pick and choose a few. Like there were way more horrifying things said to these kids and it just isn't shown.
Exactly. So Chloe's next and she goes, you did a great job. And
that's it. That's it. She just like hurried up and went to the next one.
But then she said, Maddie's at the top and she said, you did a great job, but I've seen you dance better.
Yeah. So why wasn't she? Exactly.
Why weren't they flips? But
because your last name isn't Ziegler.
Yeah, Chloe's not allowed to be at the top of the pyramid. She was at the top of the pyramid the week she didn't dance, remember?
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I want to point out is the girls have new pyramid pics this week. Last week in episode 1, they had all the grays. So now we actually see the pyramid pics that we're going to use throughout the rest of the season. I don't know why we didn't keep those.
I don't know either.
They were pretty.
Yeah.
I thought they were pretty.
Yeah.
But these are the pyramid pics that we're going to see throughout this entire season. And I think season 2 has about 753 episodes. So we're going to get these pictures a lot. So then we get our group assignment and all of us are going to be in a group dance called Bad Apples. That's a little 40s and a little Katy Perry. And we're going to wear a rat and a snood. So
yay us. Who the hell ever knew what a rat and a snood was?
Well, we're about to educate you. And Kenzie does not want to wear a rat in her hair. She tells us.
I know.
And if we don't know what it is, we can Google it.
And Kenzie got the memo about the sequin top. I think she stole yours out of your closet. Maybe.
She sure did. I saw that. And then Brooke gets assigned a solo. And Abby wants her to make applesauce out of that kid. And she wants that kid in tears before she even steps out onto the stage.
I know. I'm like, okay, like you want my 13-year-old to make another 13-year-old cry on stage.
For sure. But wait, let me show you something.
And Brooke's just like shaking her head.
I know. Okay. Brooke is like, okay.
Whatever you say.
You don't like that very much. That's the face you make when she
oh my gosh. Because I'm like, she's crazy. The woman is crazy.
She is so crazy. And Brooke is like, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Whatever you say, Miss Abby.
Oh my God. Wait, Kelly, I have to show you one other thing. Because I know if you're listening on the podcast, I had saved a couple screenshots to share. So if you're watching on the after show or on Patreon, you're going to see it. But we'll describe it. I need you to see some. So hold on. Let me show you one more time. We mentioned it, but it's worth its own screenshot.
Ah! Look at that sucker.
Look, I want to know how high that poof is.
Yeah.
Bill's poof is aggressive.
I'm thinking
look at that.
I'm thinking maybe she had the bump it in and she still teased it up above the bump it because that's even bigger than a bump it is.
That's a big poof.
Yes.
Maybe the bigger the poof, the closer to God. Isn't that what they say in Texas? She's praying to God for
maybe I should have wore a poof.
Pray to God that my kids will get up on the pyramid. So then we're dismissed and we're walking out and Holly is carrying her bag again. Did you catch that?
Holly's very protective of her bag.
I don't think she wants ants to crawl in and out in the den, honestly. So the kids start to warm up.
You know what I noticed when we were walking up the steps? Did you see the parents like hiding behind the little half wall at the steps?
I didn't notice it.
It was
but
like
I remember
they were like
they
hiding, so we couldn't. They couldn't be seen on camera as we were coming up the steps. Yeah, you can see some of the moms.
You're going to start noticing things now in the background like that because there's something coming up at competition that I noticed, but I actually didn't catch the parents. But we go upstairs and right away, it's very bothersome to me because eventually we have like assigned seats upstairs. Do you remember? Eventually we had like assigned, we were still not in our what I feel are our regular seats. So Jill's like sitting where I normally sit and it like throws me off a little bit. And I'm like sitting in the Holly spot kind of. It's really, actually, I think I'm in the Jill spot. Well, anyway, so Jill starts bitching because she's like, I just didn't expect her to be at the bottom. And then I tell her, well, you're new. Like, get used to it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's because you're new.
And then she tells us it's a lot of pressure for a little kid.
No shit.
And I wrote,
shit. Yeah. Like, we know what kind of pressure it is. Our kids are like, been doing it for a year. So, we know.
And then I say that she needs to take up permanent residence at the bottom, Kendall, but I'm really talking about Jill, because we've been dealing with this one for a long time. Abby tells us in an interview more about the dance, that it's big. It's very Andrews Sisters. It's 40s. It's Katy Perry with a little Cathy jab in there. And then
how about they show her dancing?
I know.
I hate when they show her dancing.
I know. They
like
loved.
big, little. I'm just like, oh my.
I think they loved anytime she moved.
Oh, absolutely.
They were like, can we please have her off the cheese mat? Somebody please remove her from the cheese mat. So then Jill is bitching upstairs that Kendall only had 3 days and they switched her music right before competition. And you chime in and you go, my kid still doesn't have music.
Am I lying? Am I lying?
You're not lying, but you are holding on to that one. I didn't notice that you said that when we said that upstairs. And then in your interview, you tell us that Jill is bitching after 3 days and you've been there for 30 years and your kids are still at the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, Brooke's been there dancing there for 9 years, for God's sakes. And she's been there for 3 days and she expects to get special treatment. Like, kiss my ass.
Well, she always expected special treatment.
Exactly.
Which is why
I'm having a drink on that one.
But then I like that Holly chimes right in and she goes, so in order for Kendall to move up, either Nia, Maddie, or Chloe has to be
I loved that
down.
Holly said that. I loved that Holly said that because Holly sometimes doesn't really say a lot. And that was great for her to say that because normally it would have been me or you that would have had to bring it up. But
yes,
I loved that Holly said that.
And I love that Holly goes, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. She was basically saying, and then Holly says about how Holly thinks that Jill is saying that Nia is the one that should be knocked down. And I seriously think that's what Jill was saying.
No, Jill goes on to say that. She said, is that what you're thinking? And then I say, are you saying that you think that Kendall did better than Nia? Because, shit stir right here.
And then your face. Did you see your face?
What did I do?
You were just like, I just wrote down your face. You were just like shocked or whatever.
Well, because she said, yeah, honestly, I do. And I think Holly leaned forward and I like made the face at the same time. Yeah. So Jill is she's obviously not afraid to piss somebody off, No,
not at all.
And then Melissa, I think, says her most controversial thing in an interview. She says Kendall was the star at her old studio and now she's not.
And that's hard for Jill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I say to Jill, you want to be accepted, but then you challenge us and you lay down the gauntlet. I really threw out a word there, didn't I? And then I tell her, I compare it to being in a sorority. Pledge, pay your dues and sit back. I mean, it's true.
Yes, definitely.
For sure. And Jill thinks that she deserves it. So we lose our minds.
We all think we deserve it.
But then we lose our minds and we like henpecker upstairs. We're like,
well, I love that you send her downstairs.
Oh, that's next. I'm like, well, she says
go tell Abby about it.
Yeah. She says she can't worry about our kids. She has her own kids to worry about. And I'm like, I don't need you to worry about my kid. But I say, I think you should tell Abby how you feel. Look, I mean, that's part of the initiation. You came to play, go play. Go
but it's better her to go down than me.
Oh, man.
Because I was always the one that was sent down there.
Ugh.
Let the new girl do it today.
That's exactly. You're pledging. I said it's like a sorority.
Yep.
So Jill walks right in. She doesn't even like peek her head in and go like, excuse me. She marches in. She goes, I need 2 minutes, Abby, just 2 minutes.
With her patent leather heels on.
And then Abby goes, you shouldn't be in here with those shoes. And then Abby tells us, I thought this was kind of like, ooh, I was like, that's a little brutal. She says Jill spends all that money on competition when she should have been spending it on technique classes.
Yeah. She's so rude.
She's so rude.
She is so rude.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I say, speaking of rude, I ask if anyone brought any popcorn.
That was like one of my favorite lines because like it is so true. Is that what you say when I go down there?
No, I always am like, oh shit, is Kelly going to get arrested? And then Jill tells Abby she's played by her rules. You've been here a week.
3 days, come on.
And she's disappointed that Kay is at the bottom. And what do you need from me? And Abby's like, I don't need anything from you.
Yeah. Kendall.
And then the girls are doing the chin stands. And Abby's like, look at her feet. Look at her feet. Look at her feet. And then she goes, Kendall, squeeze your feet, honey.
I'm surprised Abby didn't slap her then.
Abby goes, honey, honey, honey. Like she starts twitching at honey. We don't eat honey. And Jill very calmly says, I'm trusting you, Abby. I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you. And we are upstairs loving life watching this all go down.
Well, I even say in my interview that I love Abby shutting her down.
Yep. And then you also say that you think Jill has ulterior motives and will do anything to get her ahead.
Yep.
Yep. Then we see an infamous cow. So we know we're in Ohio.
I have the same thing in the star. They show cows again. We know we're going to Cathy's.
We know. Cows. So Cathy is wearing fur. I'd like to point that out in her interview. And she says LA was humiliating for her. Look, at least she owns it. Abby always makes excuses, you know? So at least Cathy like owns that it was humiliating. So I give her a big star and like a good job for at least like identifying an emotion because not everybody is capable of that on this show.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we're going to be blown away when we see them this time.
Yeah, and it's time for them to show us their technique.
And then we cut to lunch at Local.
Yay.
My favorite scenes are always when we're at lunch.
I know. I like to go to lunch.
Me too. But we're
and
not
of course,
drinking.
we're talking about Jill.
No, of course. Kelly, I'm quite sure that's why we went to lunch.
Absolutely. Do you think they took us to lunch just to sit there and have some food?
No. And boy, did we have a lot of food.
Oh my God, I was shoving my face the whole time.
I had a whole pizza next to me.
I'm like, could I eat any more?
No, but we were drinking water.
Wonder why.
I don't know. And I actually made a note of that before we even get to the scene later which we'll talk about with Abby and you. Are you drinking? We weren't even drinking at lunch, which is where we would normally have a drink. Because like that was
I didn't even notice
thing.
that. I knew whenever Abby asked me if I was drinking, I knew I was sober. You could tell I was sober.
Yes. I, of course, whip out one of my infamous books.
My God, you're hysterical with those stupid ass books.
And I did it all the time. I would just write down all the
little
competition
notes
stuff and notes because first of all, award ceremonies are normally 5 hours long. So it gave me something to do, but then it was good for me to always go back and compare because they always say, I mean, in real dance, like you want to dance better than what you did last time. So I would like keep track of Chloe's scores so that I could say like, you got a silver this time. Now you got a high silver. Now you got a gold.
Yeah,
you
were competing against this girl. You competed against this girl at DEA and now you're competing against her now.
Yeah.
Because then you know like what you're up against.
It's like studying any sport, you know, at least you know who you're against.
Yeah,
so,
like in football, they watch the plays over and
Sure. But I kept my book. And so I had receipts. So I whipped that book out and I was like, actually, in that competition, Chloe got third, Maddie got first, and Kendall got 10th. You ask me, am I going to show her? And I'm like, well, most likely. I'm thinking.
Yeah. What a stupid question that was, huh?
And then I say she's a studio hopper and we need to dig and find out why she's there. Kelly, I know why she's there.
Exactly. But we weren't allowed to say that on the show. Then you start talking in your
Oh
900
my
voice.
God. The Joel voice. How funny is it that just last week I was returning something at a store and the cashier was like, when you talk in Jill's voice, it kills me. And the only time I remember doing it was an interview, like that 900 number voice. I didn't know that I did it at lunch.
Yeah. No, I didn't remember that either.
And then we then go back to the studio and Brooke is
You say she
rehearsing.
can't be trusted. That's
Oh,
what
did I
did.
say that?
Yeah. You
Okay.
say that. You say that in your 900 voice, and then you say she can't be trusted.
Oh, anyone who always talks like this
Can't be trusted. Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you disagree?
No.
Okay. So now Brooke is doing her Garden of Eden. This podcast just got very inappropriate for someone. Brooke is doing her Garden of Eden rehearsal and she's doing fabulously beautiful aerials.
Yay.
What are those things called where she does like those little backbendy things in the circle?
I have no idea.
Kelly.
I can't even think. I've blocked dance out of my mind. I have no idea.
Do you know what move I'm talking about?
I think I do.
Where they like,
yeah,
I can't do it.
And not many people could.
I can't do it. I bet I can't remember. I can't do it either.
I didn't think.
So we're sitting upstairs watching. Abby tells us that rumor has it that Cathy has someone competing against Brooke. I'm thinking the rumor came from the producers. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know who else would have told us that.
Here's what I love though. I love that Abby has no problem talking about your kids being mediocre and blah, 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 except when she needs Brooke to win. And then Brooke is flawless.
Because she said she's going to impress the judges and leave everybody wanting more. Yeah. But then when she talks to Brooke, she's
mediocre
sucks.
And she sucks. Yep. It's funny how that works.
Always.
We cut them back to Cathy and she lets us know that she's now added the ALDC as an enemy to the candy apples list. And I'm like, you have a list? Where is it on the wall? Like,
and then she says, especially Brooke. I know. I'm like, okay, I'll target my 13-year-old.
Yeah. And then she's telling Erica about Brooke and she goes, Brooke is a title winner. She goes, is she a 2-time title winner? And she goes, no, I was dying, Kel. Dying.
Okay. But like how many titles has Brooke had?
Exactly.
Way more than 2.
I know.
10. Yes.
And then Cathy says, Brooke's forte is laying on the floor and crawling around on her neck.
Yeah. And then she says Erica's is her amazing pirouettes. Well, Brooke can do pirouettes too, but can Erica do the rolling around on her neck?
Crawling around, Kelly. Crawling around.
Yes.
All right. So now we get into what could be one of the best scenes to ever air on television.
Was it Vivi?
So when Vivi is just jumping like on the mats and Cathy says, Erica's going to look at her and that's her cue. You can't be sleeping. You need to dance like you want a puppy. Earn your puppy. Yeah. Earn your puppy.
I was hysterical. Like, what does that mean?
Earn your puppy.
If she danced good, she got a puppy. Do we know if she ever got a puppy?
She did get a puppy.
Did she?
She did. I guess she danced well.
Good for Vivi.
Well, Cathy pinky swore with her. She ran over and gave her a pinky swear. And as she's pulling away, Vivi's face is like, whoa.
This was my favorite line of the show.
Ever.
I loved it.
Cathy is walking away. She doesn't look at Vivi, but she looks at a ring for blood.
Yeah.
And then Vivi goes, look what you did. And Cathy's like, I did that. And then, do you want to give the line?
Yes. I cut my finger on my mom's ring. I hope I can still dance. I love it. Brooke's shoulder pops out and she still has to dance. Vivi gets a little cut on her finger.
Dead.
Hope she can dance.
Dead. And Cathy tells
funny.
us it's a minor tragedy and puts a Band-Aid on it.
She's funny. I love Vivi.
Vivi
is hysterical.
Hysterical. Absolutely hysterical.
Before they go to the girls practicing, they show a tap class because everybody always asks if we do tap. Well, that was a tap class, one of our tap classes.
Yeah. And I actually think it could have been our kids too.
Yeah.
The girls are rehearsing and I literally wrote, I just love them because they're so cute doing that little dance. Like I just love those little girls. Mm-hmm. We have a new headband. So go ahead and have a sip of your cocktail.
My gosh. I've been drinking this whole time. I don't know why. I must have left my wine.
So Abby is screaming from the cheese mat. Absolutely screaming from the cheese mat. But I have a question. They show a shot of us sitting upstairs and there is a sequin cowboy hat next to you. Did Jill bring that?
No, because if you notice at the competition, Paige has that brown sequin outfit on. She did another solo. It was a good solo. And of course they didn't show it.
They didn't show it because then you carry that hat downstairs.
Yeah. Because
so I was like, what is this sequin hat? And okay, so that makes sense.
Solo. They just don't show it.
Well, I win my Academy Award here for my next scene because I'm like, oh God, look what I found.
Oh, I just found this in my bag. A competition book from years ago.
And guess who loves it?
Melissa
loves it. She loves
because
it.
Jill didn't win. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Maddie beat Kendall.
Yeah.
And so
and Chloe.
Exactly. Jill looks annoyed. Oh, you tell the audience that I want her to know that my daughter is a threat. They're all good. It's not just one or two.
Yeah.
Like we're all a threat.
Yeah.
And Jill says she isn't going to let us get to her, even if we are intimidated by her or her little 8-year-old. I think that's the first time she says little, because then she goes on my little Kendall a lot on the show.
Yeah.
My little 8-year-old. You are stoning an apple and I am consulting you on it.
I know. I'm like, oh, I like this one. Yeah. Yeah. But if you notice, I'm stoning the apple. Like I'm working on my props. Okay. So later on, we'll go back to that.
Yep. Jill pulls out a bag of snoods and someone tells her, no, that's the rat. To her, or you're telling us that when Abby sends you on a mission, you say that you can't find it, Jill. And
I'm like, when you went and found those and saw how ugly they were, you should not have purchased them. You should have said they were not available because then we wouldn't have had to wear them. Like, how stupid is she? Like, you gotta outsmart them.
Well,
like,
she's trying to get to the top of the pyramid, but then she starts demonstrating the rat on Melissa. Okay.
Yeah.
And you
say Melissa let her do that.
And you say
Melissa was a good sport putting that in her hair because I wouldn't have.
Do you still have your rat?
Yes.
I do too.
Unless my kids threw it away. They threw away everything else.
It's like a dog toy.
I know. It's gross.
It's so gross. And you tell us that it's a George Washington looking thing, but it's the ugliest thing ever. Funny because when Jill is doing Melissa's hair up there and she has that bump and Melissa has in the rat, their hair looks very similar.
But the rat even sticks, or the
bump is bigger than the rat.
Sticks up higher than the rat. We should have just did Jill's technique instead of buying the rats.
We could have done Jill's. We had an expert among us.
Exactly.
See, that is a poor use of resources right there.
Exactly.
I'm laughing the whole time because I'm watching you in the E6000. And it brings back, I can smell it. I can see it. How many tubes of it have we used in our life?
Yeah.
And then we're mocking them. And I'm like, oh, do my hair. It's like a junior high sleepover, which is very ironic because I couldn't be acting more like a bitchy junior high girl when I say it.
Exactly. Like Jill's the teenager, not us.
Oh no, I'm just being
We're not bitchy teenagers.
Bitchy teen, right?
Yeah, we're just bitchy adults.
I don't know if it's you or I that says Joe'll be different when she makes the team. One of us says it. I don't know. It's very interchangeable. It could be either of us.
Yeah.
We're back to practice and Abby goes, Paige, what are you doing? And Paige goes like this. Like
I don't know.
I don't know.
What am I supposed to be doing?
Exactly. What's the right answer?
I'm not doing something right.
Like, what is the answer I'm supposed to give? You very calmly are like, I need to go down and give my kids their props so that they can rehearse like they're doing their solos. It's very calm. It's not aggressive.
I wasn't trying to fight. Nothing. I was working on the props.
Yeah.
We just saw me stoning them and doing the hat.
You were doing your job.
Yes.
What Abby asked you to do, and you were bringing it down to hand to your kids. So because we all know if you don't show up with stoppers, what's going to happen in a few episodes.
Exactly.
So, no, you're showing up, doing what you're supposed to be doing. So you walk in the room, you don't even just walk in. You're like, hi, I have my kids. Very polite, honestly, because we don't see this very often in Dance Moms where the moms are just kind of like, hey, like, here, I'm doing what you're doing, like calm.
Yeah.
And she's like, ugh. Oh my God, Kelly, she's 13. She should carry it. And then,
and normally they would have had them, but I was stoning them. So they didn't have them. And she won't let them leave the room to go get them. So I was bringing them down because I want them to practice with their props, which they're supposed to do. I was doing exactly what I was supposed to do, and I'm getting screamed at.
So then she says,
and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but she says about, like, I'm screaming at her about me being there. She's telling Nia her mother is a horrible mother and shit because she's not there. I'm there doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm getting in trouble.
Kelly, you literally said, and I highlighted it because you go, well, do you want us to be hands-on moms or not? Because you just told Nia that her mom didn't love her.
She's been telling her that all week.
It's so funny the way you said it. It was so like, not her. You're like, you just told Nia her mom doesn't love her.
God.
Watching this, and I'm like, I cannot believe this fucking show is on television. Like, it's so absurd.
I know. Sorry for saying that, Nia, but that is what she was saying.
That's exactly what you didn't say it. You were quoting her. I don't know. It made me laugh. So I like busted out laughing at my desk. It was so ridiculous because it's ridiculous.
It is.
And then Abby starts screaming at you because you're like, you want me gone? She's like, I want you gone. I want the 2 14-year-olds who came for the audition. You're like, throw me out.
Please replace us.
Because this is the thing here. Because this is where it starts to get dirty. And like, there will be lots of this going on in season 2 where Abby gets pissed because as we become popular with the fans and our kids become popular with the fans, Abby wants us gone. She does not want anyone on the show that the fans like, except for her favorites or her. And so she would get so pissed off if anybody liked us. And so that's why she wants you gone, because people liked you. People liked your kids. So she's like, I want you gone. And then you're like, please throw me out.
Because at this point I wanted to leave already. But I wanted to leave already at season 2 and I wasn't allowed.
The fourth wall there is you're under contract. You can't just leave, and she can't just kick you out. Yeah. So you're saying kick me out, and there's not a damn thing she can do about it.
Yeah. Other than torture me and my kids. And that's what she continues to do.
Exactly. So she knows that. She tells us in an interview that you have no right to interrupt a class. Again,
Jill just did it 2 seconds ago.
Exactly.
And she didn't get in trouble. She wasn't getting thrown out. That maybe her daughter should have been not put on the team then because her mom came in the room.
Sure.
And you don't have to throw her out. Just don't put her in the team.
Yeah.
But it was okay for that.
And all you were doing was bringing in your kids' props. So then
I shouldn't have had to have been stoning anyways. She should provide that shit. Not me.
Especially when the show pays for it.
Exactly.
And we're not getting paid extra to do the costumes. Trust me. Somebody is. It's not us.
Exactly.
So then she goes, is she drunk? Like, I think she says this to Gianna. Because
she's saying it to me first. I walk upstairs and I'm looking down to make sure she's not torturing my kids. Yeah. And she looks up at me and says, are you drunk?
Yeah. Don't you come down here.
Were you drinking? And then she says it again to Gianna. Was she drinking? Is she drunk? And then says that in front of my kids.
You're humiliating your kids. She says that.
How am I humiliating my kids by taking them their props and doing what I'm supposed to do?
I cannot believe that she said that. But furthermore, I cannot believe they put that on TV. It's so wrong on every level. And Holly is saying that. And when we're saying it's wrong, we're talking about saying stuff like that on TV about mothers and who are at dance class, who are driving their kids home. Yeah. It's like, I cannot believe that that is what they're putting out there, that people think that we're sitting up.
Exactly. And I'm glad you pointed out that we had water at lunch. Like when was it that I was drinking?
And we always say like coffee cups had wine in them, or we have unsweetened iced tea with vodka. We're not driving when we're drinking those. Exactly. Trust me. Because do you think that the police don't know that we're filming a show and they're sitting in the parking lot waiting for us to drive home? Come on. Yeah. So Holly is agreeing with you. And she's saying that you're saying she crossed the line, and Holly agrees. And we're all saying it because you're saying she's saying it in front of her kids. But I think that's more of a fourth wall thing. Like you're saying it to the world. You start crying and you say, and she wonders why my kids want to do other things, and you're torturing your kids. And then this is when you say, this is the fourth wall. And you say, I'm between a rock and a hard place. My kids love it, but it's my job as a mom to protect them. And I can't do it. And I can't take it. And that is the underlying struggle that we had throughout the entire
Mhm.
show.
Do you see they showed Brooke down
Mhm.
below and she's looking up at me
Mhm.
crying? Like
Mhm.
little things like that break my heart.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's
know.
just so wrong. Like, I don't
Oh,
know.
I know. Yes. We should go to group therapy. Maybe we'll get a discount. So now we're back to Cathy, and she is dancing, and she's coming back with a plan for vengeance.
How about her screaming?
Look at me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's screaming it is loud. Like the 1 and the 5, like she accentuates so much. I'm like, holy shit. Like if I'd be scared.
Kelly, that's the least scary screaming you have heard in a dance studio. I promise you.
Yes, I know. But it was just like, I was just kind of like caught off guard. Like,
I love when she goes, look at me with your ears. And we're back in the studio. Abby's wearing a new headband. Drink. Cheers. And then our kids are standing around her because they're excited, because the one fun thing they get to do during the week is get their costumes. And she yells at them that they're acting like 3-year-olds with their first recital costumes and they need to practice, and like screams at them to get away from her. And those are the little things that really make me sad for those kids, because they just want to see like a cute costume. Like that's the one little like bone they get thrown.
Exactly. And they're not allowed to enjoy it.
Nope. Can't enjoy it. And then they do finally get the costumes, and I think they are ugly.
Oh, yes, they are ugly.
Dude. But I'm wearing that ugly dress again from season 1.
Oh, you did?
I can't believe I repeated a dress and an ugly one. Like at least
I didn't notice it.
I did. We're upstairs. We're all working on our costumes. And Jill wants to know if we think Cathy will be rude to her. And Melissa goes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is the beginning of major hatred, because Cathy and Jill hated each other.
Yeah. They didn't
really
like
hate each other.
Yeah. Like I had a fight with Cathy and stuff, but
but it was,
it was just like stupid. Like I didn't never not like Cathy, but Jill and Cathy did not like each other
for real in real life.
Yeah. But did you notice Holly was actually working on the costume?
I did.
That was pretty rare.
Yeah.
That was pretty rare. Like I was amazed to see Holly doing that.
I think Holly is in her metamorphosis stage where she's transitioning into a dance mom.
Yeah.
So she's going from principal into dance mom, Holly.
Yeah.
She's in her chrysalis.
Yes.
So she is working on a costume. And then Abby's sitting there and she looks at Nia and she goes, Nia, your granditasia to change direction. just disgust, just absolute disgust on her face. And Nia's like, okay. I mean,
yeah, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm doing it the best I can. Like, I think that's what they want to say to her.
Yeah, like
I'm doing the best I can.
Like that's how my body does it.
Exactly.
like
I would just want to look at her and be like, okay, like, can you demonstrate it for me, Miss Abby?
Yeah.
Like, let me see how your like goes when you do it, because I'm doing the best I can.
I would love for them to be like, you know what? I have the ability to do it right. I just would prefer to get yelled at.
Exactly.
Sorry. So Gianna comes up and says that Abby wants to see Holly and Jill. She wants,
and here she is calling moms into the room when I just got flipped out on for taking down my prop. Let's call 2 of the other ones in.
Well, because she wants them to see what their kids are doing wrong. And she didn't have anything that went out for your kids right then. So she didn't want to see you.
Thank God my kids actually didn't have something wrong.
And then she's like, do you see that jump? Feet. Terrible. Terrible.
I actually liked Paige in this dance.
Oh, I did too.
I liked her in this dance. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Paige was cute in numbers like this.
Yeah.
They like fit her personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while they're downstairs, we start quizzing Melissa. She says that Jill wanted to come here for years. And I'm like, I don't believe that.
No, because why would she not have come? She lives right by me.
Yeah.
I mean, she lives right by me. So why would she drive an hour and a half to a studio? I mean, all of their friends that went to school with them came to Abby's.
Yeah. Well, because we weren't filming a TV show there at the time. Melissa actually tells us that Jill gets tired of studios.
Yeah, she gets sick of studios.
And
you say no, she gets kicked out of studios.
And I sat there and I thought, why did I say that? And then I remembered she actually didn't start at Studio 19. She actually started at Rogers. Something went on there.
Yes.
Then she went to Studio 19. She was on her 3rd studio at that point, which is a little bit, if you're as hardcore of a competition dancer as that, you're usually at 1 or 2 max. Like you don't usually go to 3 in that short amount of time. I couldn't figure out why I said that. And then I remembered.
Well, then I say, Melissa said Jill gets tired of studios. And I say, I'm sick of studios, but I stick it out. I'm sick of this studio, but I stick it out.
You were over Dance Moms before Dance Moms was even a thing.
I know.
Next, we are getting on the bus. And this
poor bus driver, Jim.
But Kelly, I have to point this out to you real quick. Okay. Because
my.
the likes of this, we just hadn't seen yet at this point. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh my.
Jill looks like she is an extra on Almost Famous.
Look at that necklace. I know. And sunglasses.
And we're on the bus. Look at me back here.
You're like, oh, shoot me now. And look at Abby. She looks like she's ready to like jump through the seat.
I can't believe I'm sitting next to Abby. Ooh.
Yeah. Good thing she had her shoes on.
Oh my God. I say that Abby is better at directions than the navigation system. We should put her on the dashboard.
There you go. We'd like to stick her out on the front.
Yeah, put her on the hood. So Melissa and Jill bring Abby a gift. And in my interview, I thought this was funny. I said, in a shocking turn of events, Jill and Melissa brought Abby a gift. And it's a ring. And I love it that in order for Abby to wear this ring, she needs an entire coordinated ensemble.
Well, because they must not know Abby very well. Abby doesn't wear gold. So if you were buying her a gift, you would never buy her a gold ring. And you would buy her a silver ring. And she would love it. I don't think she ever wore that ring.
No, and she goes, oh,
she doesn't wear gold.
Nice.
Yeah, she doesn't wear gold.
Now I need a gold outfit, gold earrings, gold bracelet. And Holly says, well, I can buy that for you next week.
I love that. I love that.
Holly's got a couple of good ones in this episode.
I know. This episode, she's on it.
Oh, Abby's wearing a headband, P.S. So you can have a cocktail.
Oh, for the love of gosh.
But Abby does let them know next time they're shopping, she needs a husband.
Good luck with that.
Out of the bus.
Good luck with that one.
I wondered when they showed us pulling up in the dark before I remembered that we went to the soiree. I'm like, why the hell are we filming in the dark? We don't ever film in the dark.
Yeah.
Because we usually go right to our room. And we get there. And of course, you're going to get that invitation from Candy Apple at the check-in desk. I want to point out that we're at one of those types of hotels that has no restaurant on site. Yes. I always need to point this out because everyone always thinks that we stayed like in the lap of luxury. Meanwhile,
there's no bar, no restaurant, no nothing.
We never had anywhere to feed our kids dinner.
No.
Ever.
No, that's why the time we walked and I fell, remember?
Yeah, yes. That you rolled like an armadillo. Yes.
Yeah. Well, they had potholes.
Right. Well, we needed to get our kids dinner.
Yeah. We were bringing back pizza.
Yes. And you saved the pizza.
Yeah.
You're a good mom.
I am.
Good mom. So we arrive late. We get that. And it's a little apple charm. And so we know that we're invited to Cathy's room. And when we arrive, you know we are starving because we hit that buffet
I'm
hard.
shoveling food in my mouth again. Once again. Like it's like I'm not even on camera. I like forget the camera's there. I'm just like shoveling the food in. Like
same.
I wish somebody would have said to me, you know, Kelly, you are on camera.
Nobody ever told us
eating.
That's why you're fat. Me. Yes. Yeah, I know. I remember being so sick in this episode. And you couldn't hear my
talk.
Voice.
Yeah, you couldn't even talk.
I was so sick. And it doesn't matter if you're sick. That's the other thing is even if we were dead sick, you did not miss filming.
Yeah.
Even if we're so lucky that our children never got seriously sick.
Yeah.
When we were filming with the flu or something, because we would have been screwed. So she asks if we missed her. I say, actually, we don't even talk about you.
We don't even think about you, Cathy.
No. And I'm not even thinking about Joe wearing her first fur vest. So. And then
one of many, huh?
One of many. And I say, I can't believe that she's trying to poach us because she is like, well, if you're not happy there, you know, candy apples. And then we cut to the bus coming in the next morning and you can tell it's like barely dawn. It's like almost dark when we're pulling in. Now, mind you, we
just arrived
the night before and we filmed in the dark.
We filmed after that. Yeah.
So think about that. Think about, we got back to our rooms and then we had to be up and ready, camera ready.
Go to the soiree, come back and be ready to, before it got light out.
Yeah. So exactly, like the exhausted schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So when we walk in, Candy Apples is doing crunches. And I wrote, why don't they just paint them on like us? And then she goes, we don't need to paint on our abs. We have real abs. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know she said that, because I was like, we could just show her how to paint them on. They don't have to do that work. And our girls are wearing their pink coats.
I know. That was the first
So
time I seen
cute.
those.
Mhm.
Yes.
Kathy says, don't look at them. Abby says, don't look at each other. And she's walking in, and she has actually something more offensive than a headband, because she has a curler.
A curler.
Yeah, that deserves
And
tutoring.
then she says, Kathy points out the curler, and Abby says, why didn't somebody tell me?
Yeah.
Who was going to tell her, Miss Abby, you have a curler in your hair? Because they aren't allowed to say anything without getting in trouble.
No.
Why would they point that out?
That was the second time Paige gave a little shrug. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
Paige is like, I'm not telling you have a curler in. Are you kidding? My mom tried to give you a hat. You accused her of being an alcoholic. So then we get about 4 apple puns right in a row. The apple cart, bow and arrow, apple bullshit, whatever. We're in the dressing room, and we're starting to do their hair, and it's just hair everywhere. There's rats. There's
Rats and snoods.
Abby is wearing a freaking tracksuit with aggressive rhinestone jewelry. It is Dance Moms at its finest. Jill says that Kendall doesn't understand what's at stake, because she's little. I think this is when Jill has that conversation with Abby. What does Abby expect? And they're having this whole conversation, but in the background, Mackenzie is doing about 4,000 cartwheels.
Really?
They're having this serious talk, and Mackenzie's literally going back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, well, good for her for blocking it out.
I love shit like that. I think it's hilarious. And then you're like, it's time for the snoods.
Oh, yay. But the snoods are all different.
Right.
Like, once again, she should have provided them for us.
Abby loses her mind when she realizes that the snoods are different, because this is what makes or breaks
that's
the
what
dance.
makes the dance.
It's the snood. And
it's not that your kids are mediocre or they're fabulous. It's the snood.
And it's not that they might have mediocre choreography.
Exactly.
It's the snood. Chloe is looking at herself in the mirror, and she is making the most hysterical faces of herself. Like,
what do I have on my head?
I can't believe I'm on national television like this.
Yes.
Who thought this was a good idea?
They have me having Brooke's hair is like ratted all like teased all the way out here. And they have to show that.
Yep.
Any bad moments, let's show. Try to humiliate them.
Yep. Well, there's a little clip coming up later of Chloe shoving a chip in her mouth. It's like unbelievable. There's no reason for it other than just to show it. No reason for it. Yeah. So then Abby and Holly start going at it. Why didn't you buy all new snoods? If they're all different, they have to be the same. Holly was like, I tried to tell you on the bus. Where were you? I went to 4 different stores. And Abby's like, 4 different stores. You need to go to 14 different stores and then you can complain. I'm not on your payroll.
Exactly. Like, why don't you go to 14 different stores? It's your dance. You're the choreographer. Yes. You do the costumes. Well, you don't do them. Because every week we do them. I had to do the props. Holly had to get the snoods. Jill had to get the
rats.
How can she claim that she does that? Because she doesn't. We do.
But Holly goes, I am sick and tired of hearing snoods. Same, Hall. Same. Me too. So then, of course, the shit stir that I am, I bring up that we saw Cathy last night at her soiree. And
that just pissed her off that she wasn't invited.
And she doesn't appreciate it that we went behind her back. And she says that's solicitation. And I'm pretty sure if you look up the definition of what solicitation is, it's about sex work, not talking to other dance teachers.
Well, what I didn't get is she wants to get rid of us. So she should have been glad that Cathy was trying to pull us onto her team.
Yeah.
Because I thought she would have been like, go to Cathy's team.
True story, Kel.
Yeah.
Abby tells us that she would never invite a bunch of moms and talk about their teacher. She can't believe it. No, she just talks about their moms to the kids' faces.
Yeah. Because because that's way classier.
Way classier. So our girls are getting ready to go on stage. And this is one of those moments where you can tell it's starting to be like a really popular show because as they're walking to stage, there's a ton of kids lined up watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like saying things to them. Yeah.
Yep. And so then backstage, Cathy says to Kendall, are you the new little girl? Are you the one who said hi to me? And
No,
Kendall,
that was rude of Cathy.
but Kendall goes, no, I don't think so. And the whole time
Kendall's like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
But the whole time she's talking, Chloe is like peeking around the corner, listening to this conversation. Then you see her duck back when Cathy starts talking to her.
Well, then how about after Cathy says about the her being the new girl, she looks at our kids and is like, what's up with your hair?
It's interesting. We then go on and dance. We do the dance. And I mean, they had shitty coverage of this dance.
They always do. It annoys me. I have this in my notes for when Brooke does her solo.
The dance is very cute. Like it's a very good dance.
And they all use their faces very good. Like Abby says about to Kendall about do like Maddie's faces. They were amazing. I thought
they were
all the kids used amazing faces in this dance.
They were adorable. And our kids were really good at numbers like this because these are the types of numbers that Abby did when they were little. So they were used to it. They're still little. Who am I saying? But
yeah.
But like they knew how to do like a Broadway style type dance. And that's what this was. Yeah. So I thought they were adorable. So then Cathy's number comes on.
Yes.
And
now how about her moms when the girls came out on stage? They were screaming.
Were they?
In the audience. Like we weren't allowed to do that.
No.
Like at the ALDC, that was like a no. There was no screaming. That you could applaud, but no screaming things and stuff. Cathy's moms were like screaming like, woo!
Well, later, Cathy's dancers are sitting on the floor. Abby would tell you only animals sit on the floor.
Yep.
So the Spanish number comes out and I thought they were fantastic. I mean, they were.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They were great. And Melissa goes, they look like they're 14
they're
or 15.
old, yeah.
And Abby says that the technique was beautiful and she is concerned and she should be.
Yeah.
And Holly says she isn't sure she can pull it off. Abby says they look old to Cathy. Now, I'm going to stick up for Cathy here for a minute because here's the deal. You get put into whatever category the average age is of your dancers. So when you have somebody who's 6 in a dance like Vivi or a Mackenzie, it pulls down the age.
The age, yeah. So and we discussed this with Where Have All the Children Gone?
Exactly.
That's why we got to compete in a lower age because we had Vivi and
Kenzie
that were both young.
So even though those kids were older, they probably averaged young at that competition. Like it happens sometimes. I don't know that, but I think it's really shitty that Abby trash talks Cathy in her interview, because again, it's just like her saying about you that you're drinking at a dance studio. It's like tarnishing Cathy's reputation, like her professional reputation as the And I think that's,
but she did with the solo.
She did, but I just hate that Abby gets that final word and then everybody takes it as gospel. Because I guarantee you, Cathy did not want to lie or cheat about her age. But the producers made her do it so that they could have her compete against Brooke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Abby comes in and she tells us that it all went down the tubes and she blames it on Kendall. And she says to Kendall, do you play an instrument? No, you need to. When? 3 a.m.?
Exactly. In your spare time, while you're sleeping.
She also wants them all to learn Mandarin Chinese on the bus. So she can do that after the Mandarin lesson.
That's because, Paige isn't running up and down the aisles.
Exactly. She goes, that was an easy baby dance, girls. Well, you just told us 12 times that you're the choreographer. So
yeah, like you gave it, they did the choreography they were given.
Yeah. And she's upset because it was easy and they blew it.
I thought they were fabulous.
I did too. And Abby's really worried that they're going to get beat and we need to be worried too. Then we're sitting in the audience and Cathy turns around and she goes to me, where'd you get that Amish hairdo? And I go,
I love that you say, you think you would know what this were.
It's from the 40s.
They're not Amish. You should know that. They're 40s.
So then it comes up to awards. And I honestly didn't remember the outcome of this at all. And so I was actually pretty shocked that we beat that dance. I mean, I think that's like where we start to see that Dance Moms is going to win everywhere we go because
Exactly.
people like
Yeah.
the show. Because
Yeah.
honestly, those dancers should have beat us. And I think
did they even say what they got?
Yeah, when she went to the judges and questioned it.
Oh, they did give us the numbers. We got 287 and they got 275.
So we like beat them by a ton.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes you beat somebody by half a point.
Yeah.
I think this is where we start to see like, no, we didn't really ever lose because most of the judges were fans of our girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I think. And then Abby goes, pork chops and applesauce. And then I say, how do you like them apples, Cathy?
But how about the moms in the audience? Like I remember I said they were like screaming when their kids came out. They didn't even clap whenever we won.
Really?
Like that's even when we don't win, I still clap for whoever wins. I mean, God.
It might be like a golf clap.
Or sportsmanship. Yeah.
But Abby is celebrating in the audience. Yes. Meanwhile, she just told us we sucked. So okay. Cathy is outraged and she's pissed and wants to see the scores, which I agree. And then she goes back and she's like, it's fine. We had them nervous. Their knees were knocking. They were sweating bullets and their butts were shaking.
Yay.
Abby is relieved, she tells us. And then Brooke is getting ready for her solo. Did you do her makeup or did somebody do her makeup? Like Tammy?
I think Tammy might have done it.
Her makeup was incredible.
Yeah. I think Tammy did it.
Absolutely stunning. I did not remember this when I first saw her, like in this costume. And then when I saw the full thing, I remembered it. I thought that she just looked gorgeous. Like that costume was stunning.
I think I did the base of it and then Tammy did a little bit and then I put some stones and stuff on it.
Yeah.
I think.
It was really,
I can't even remember what it looked like.
No, it was pretty. She even had the leaves on her eye.
That's what I think Tammy did was the leaf.
Which was just a little spirit gum.
Yeah.
I think. So Brooke is nervous. Her dance is great. Like, I mean, she's stunning.
I hate how they film those dances though.
Yeah.
Like they show her getting into
the
like,
trick.
her handstand and then they show the audience. Like they don't show the actual trick. And that's like the beauty of it. You know what I mean? They show her getting in and getting out of it. They don't show the actual thing.
I think that was one thing that I did agree with Abby on. Is she always said that they needed to have a dancer in editing to show the right stuff.
Exactly.
And that makes a huge difference.
It does. It does.
It makes a huge difference. And I think that's a lot of the times when people will see full dances, they're like, oh, because they didn't see it. They never showed it on TV. Mm-hmm. You only saw like stuff that didn't look that impressive, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she does fabulous. We are so thrilled at Brooke's solo. Like all of us, everyone, we're just so happy, which is again, why I like Candy Apple Weeks, because then we were like very united as a team and it felt good. And so that Abby tells you that she did great. And then you said, well, if Abby says that, it had to be good.
Yeah.
Erica goes up and she's dancing and she does Through the Looking Glass, which clearly was a solo that she had done in the past. Because she had the prop and the costume and everything. And she was fabulous. Like, she was
very good. Yeah.
It was great. Then we see Abby tell us that Brooke gave an amazing performance, which star, but she's worried because Cathy's dancer was very mature. And then, so after Erica dances, the Candy Apples all celebrate. And we're back in the dressing room. And this is when you see Chloe shoving that chip in her mouth, like for no reason.
Did you see when the Candy Apple girl, Erica, came off, they showed the moms all celebrating. Did you see the one mom with the dark hair? She was crying.
Yeah.
Which I think she was crying because she was happy Erica did so well, but that wasn't her mom.
Her daughter. No.
Yeah. Like I thought that was weird. The mom wasn't crying, but the
friend
teammate was crying. I thought that was kind of strange.
I thought that was strange too. And I was like, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who
I didn't know if you knew of something else that was going on that was why she was crying or something, but seemed like she was just happy for her dancing well.
We start questioning, there's no way this girl's 12. She didn't look 12.
No.
And the judge comes in to talk to Cathy and Erica's mom back in their dressing room. I need to talk to you. And Cathy looks nervous. Like she is nervous, like going out. And then Chloe, the reporter, comes in our room and she's like, the judges are questioning Erica's age. I'm like, okay, settle down. You're a little bit too like your mother. Like you like a little gossip. You like a little drama. And they need birth certificates. And that was really common, that sometimes people would question ages.
Yeah.
And so competition directors, like from the studio, always had all the kids'
Oh,
birth
the birth
certificates
certificates, yeah.
with them. But the person who was in charge of that in our studio wasn't on the show. And that's why Melissa called
She
her.
was in Pittsburgh, yeah.
Right. There's this whole back and forth about Erica because she competed in 14, but she does not have a birth certificate. So the judge is like, just how old is she? And they give her birth date and they're like, actually, she should be in the 13-14 group, not the 11 group. And then Brooke is like, well, you need to check on Brooke too.
Because
I'm sorry,
at the top of the age group. Brooke was in 12, but she had just turned 13.
like a week later.
Yes. But Erica had already competed as a 14-year-old.
Yes.
That's 2 years difference.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how they screwed that up.
Yes.
It was 2 years.
Again, I think and this is just my opinion, just based on what I know, is I think that they wanted that drama between Candy Apples.
Absolutely.
And us.
Absolutely.
And so
but I can't believe they allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
At the
They probably thought that nobody was going to point it out. And then,
yeah.
So
and this is where you see Paige in her brown solo outfit.
And I go, who's questioning it?
Yeah. You're so nebby.
Yeah. So happy. And then Abby says, there's no way she's 12. And then she goes, no, she's 13 or 14. We've moved her. And then you're in the background. You're like, oh, yay. And you start doing this little wiggle.
Oh, do I? Oh, yeah.
You're very happy. And
I didn't notice.
Brooke is literally just sitting there eating her chips. She's like, yeah, they asked about it backstage.
Well, because she knew she was right.
Yeah, but
she was in the right age.
But it's funny that Chloe and Brooke are so focused on their chips. They're probably starving.
Exactly.
So then we see that Erica is disqualified and she's crying and Cathy is consoling her. And you always have to feel bad for the kids.
Yeah.
The kids do nothing wrong.
Yeah. They should have just moved her. Why couldn't they have just took that performance and just took the score and moved it to the 14-year-old category?
That's not how Dance Moms works, Kelly. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the show.
Yeah.
So then Melissa calls our competition director. Abby's explaining the whole age thing that you and I just discussed, but Melissa's calling on her purple BlackBerry. And then Abby says, just have it faxed over. I'm like, oh my God. Blackberries and
faxes, yes.
And Abby says her apple seeds are all lined up. Apple pun.
Yeah.
And we get to awards. Brooke is sitting there waiting for her announcement. She's holding her ladybug. And she does win. So she wins her overall age category. She gets first place. And she hopes that Abby is proud because she worked hard.
Yeah.
Again, and that's what Kendall says at the very beginning. Like, I don't think I should be at the bottom. I tried my best. Like they're all just doing their best.
Yeah.
So then here comes Cathy. We have like a minute left in the show and there has to be some shit.
Okay. Well, Cathy makes the comment that she liked our red tribute. And this is why I didn't wear red today. You wore your red.
I did.
I couldn't wear it just because I did not want to tribute to the Candy Apples.
But then Abby tells her, my colors have been red and black since 1980, whatever. And Cathy goes, you better give me a birth certificate on that. Which I thought was a really quick line. That was good.
That was good for Cathy.
And Abby's like, nasty, right to the core, rotten to the core, right to nasty. So then Abby brings up the soiree and she's like, you're trying to take my students. And I don't know where I jump in. I'm like, you say you would love to have us. And then she tells me, I don't know why I didn't let those two just fight it out.
Exactly.
It's like the raptor and the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, let them kill each other. Why I didn't shut my mouth.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Because you're like me. We don't know how to do that. I do it every episode. Like, why didn't I just keep my mouth shut?
I had 30 seconds left. Zip it. Zip it. So then Cathy comes after me and I think too highly of myself, especially with the way I dress. And I say, whatever, Granny. And she goes, listen, nose, love that.
Yeah. I had to pull that up again.
And take my cheap dress. And I go,
and you're like, it's not cheap. It's Ralph Lauren.
It's not even Ralph Lauren. I have the French version, Ralph Lauren.
I actually liked you in that dress, though. You looked very thin in that dress. Yes.
Thanks. And
yes,
I said,
you looked good in that.
Thank you. And she goes, She doubts it. And then I say, go back to junior high, grandma. She's the original geriatric mean girl. And
you have no powers here.
Be gone, witch. You have no powers here.
Yeah.
And then end scene. So there we have it. Episode 2, season 2. How hard was this one to get through?
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I didn't think it
wasn't too bad for me. I mean, maybe a 1.
Yeah, I mean, this was easy for me. I again like candy apple weeks because pressure's off. Brooke did great.
And
Chloe barely said a word.
She did good. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a good one. I liked us in this one. We were funny.
Yeah.
So I was very team Christi and Kelly in this episode. I liked us. Sometimes I don't. Although we were bitchy, but we were like tolerably bitchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bottom of the pyramid for outfits.
Oh, yeah. Well, your dress that you rewore that was so terrible, right?
Excuse you. Did you not see Jill Vertez in Pyramid?
I did see Jill Vertez, yes, but
you think my dress was worse than that?
I'm saying I didn't even know what dress you had on. I'm saying you said earlier how bad it was.
It is bad. It was that black and white like tie-dye velvet thing.
You think Jill's is worse?
Well, I think she really wants to be on the pyramid.
It was just a lot of
texture
stuff together. Yes. Okay. I'll vote for that.
All right. We'll give Jill. I want Jill to have the bottom of the pyramid. She really likes that spot. She told us.
Okay.
So she's at the bottom. Top of the pyramid. Did anybody have a great outfit?
I don't think so. I like that one blouse I had on sitting upstairs for practice. It was like a blouse and like it had
the leather
on the sleeve. I like that, but I mean, it wasn't amazing. It was just a shirt with a pair of jeans.
Yeah. I mean, nothing was like, oh my God, that was so great. I mean, I liked my red dress. I honestly,
let's do your red dress because I thought you looked very nice and thin in that dress.
Thanks. I like a skinny dress.
Yes.
So we'll take that one. All right. Favorite quotes of the episode. No, before we do that, did you have any felonies or misdemeanors?
I have that. First of all, I have the rats and snoods. Those are definitely
felonies.
A felony for sure.
Yeah, those are felonies.
And I have that when Abby said I was drunk, like I should have like
knocked her out
against that. Yeah. I just sat there and cried. I should have went down and kicked her ass.
Yeah. You kick her ass in a couple of seasons. Don't worry. I would say my biggest misdemeanor is just opening my mouth at the end when I got through a whole episode. And I'll say my misdemeanor is I was a little brutal with Jill. I really was, but I mean, I sent her down there. It wasn't terrible. Okay. So many favorite lines of this episode. There are so many.
I put, the Vivi one that I cut my finger and with my mom's ring. I hope I can still dance. I thought that was pretty funny.
Dance like you want to earn your puppy. Earn your puppy.
Yeah.
Earn your puppy. I mean, I liked, there's a couple, I like, you just told Mia that her mom didn't love her.
That was mean. I don't like that one.
Well, it wasn't.
I know it wasn't me saying it, but it just sounds not nice. It
sounds mean, but it's just so ridiculous. Like, that's what's funny about it is I'm like, I cannot believe that this is just the shit. I mean, honestly, I thought it was funny when I said in a shocking turn of events, they bought it.
I also have who brought the popcorn.
Oh, yes.
I thought that was pretty funny.
And I always get asked about Begone Witch. You have no powers here.
Yeah.
But I mean, clearly that's Wizard of Oz. I did not write that. I just used it at the best time possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it, right? Is that everything?
Yeah. I mean, so.
Fun, easy episode. And so next week is episode 3. I think this is the episode because I saw the clip, the preview that Brooke quits dance.
Yeah. I saw that too.
Brooke is going to quit. And I think
go to cheerleading.
And I think we see Candy Apples again, but I don't
remember.
I don't remember
either.
We'll see. So
have to watch it.
It'll be an easy one. I'm hoping. Oh,
it's not going to be easy for me again because I got Brooke quitting and it isn't even really her quitting.
Yeah. That's the thing about those producers. They do shit to fuck with your kids.
Yeah.
All right. We will catch you on the after show.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Back to the Bar.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you love to listen to your podcasts.
And check out our YouTube channel, Back to the Bar, if you want to watch the episodes. The channel is linked in our show notes.
And if you want to join our weekly after party,
where we dish even more dirt,
like naked pizza, Kel, subscribe to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/backtothebar. See you next time.
See you next time.
Baby, I just wanna dance, dance.